Hiroshi Honda, who did the entire Showa series with just a winning combination of a team behind him. Tomoyuki Tanaka, Ijai Tsuburaya, who actually created the look of many of kaiju that we know and love, we grew up on. So, this introduces the Versus series to the Showa series of Godzilla films, and it was something that and it featured a battle between a Western monster meets a monster from the East in Godzilla and King Kong. And originally, the original plan for the movie was actually for Godzilla to meet Frankenstein's monster, and so that's why we have that movie, Frankenstein Conquers the World, who's also directed by Hiroshi Honda and the rest of his amazing team. So we got King Kong versus Godzilla. So it was originally Godzilla was going to take on, and it was actually going to be the 1964 version of Godzilla, if I'm not corrected here, the suit from 1964 from the movie Godzilla versus the Thing or Godzilla versus Mothra or whatever you want to call it. But so this movie featured a crossover, something that had never been done. So you could consider this movie a trailblazer in the genre of kaiju, as well as movie crossovers from here on. So because they produced such films later on and influenced such people to make such films as Alien versus Predator, as well as Freddy versus Jason. So earlier on, it was an indication that this movie was going to, break a new ground, and it was groundbreaking at the time. So King Kong. Okay, this movie takes place where Godzilla in the last movie, which featured a female version of Godzilla. I still don't know what the idea was that for at all. I really don't. So he's because if you could tell in the last movie he was buried in an iceberg in 1955 and 1962, because I'm going to talk about both the American and the Japanese versions, where the Japanese being released in 1962 and the American version released in 1963. There's only a couple of differences here and there, though, but I wanted to share that on this video. So at this time, Godzilla it begins with Godzilla in an iceberg actually. So it gives you an indication, okay, where they were starting off, and this was the first film that was in color. So and then of course King Kong wakes up and he's in an island known as Faro Island, and he's worshipped by the natives, and then he senses a presence of a hated enemy. So they kind of give you an indication that Godzilla and King Kong had actually had a meeting before they actually fought in this first film, but it's kind of just teased a little bit. So he senses Godzilla and he decides to go to Tokyo to confront him. And at first he's kind of like hesitant to fight him because when he sees the unfair advantage of Godzilla having his heat beam and his many incarnations, but and so in this movie, they had to. He was drinking red berry juice to grow. I mean, the ludicrous plot is for him to get bigger, right? Because he was about 140 feet maybe in this film. Because the Godzilla, the Showa era Godzilla was 150 feet tall, and so they had to, in some way, they had to make King Kong because if he would have faced Godzilla from the 1933 version, the fight would have been over in minutes. So they decided to give Godzilla the edge in the movie, but also gave King Kong a sedative, like a power, like on here he has the power of lightning to give him an edge against Godzilla. And everybody knows in the beginning, Godzilla was sensitive to electricity, to lightning, and thunder. So to give King Kong a little bit of an edge to be able to face him. So King Kong was almost the size of Godzilla in this movie, and this movie is brought to life by a legendary team of Toho, including director Hiroshi Honda, as well as Tomoyuki Tanaka, and Ijai Tsuburaya, who brought a lot of the Godzilla and the kaiju that we know and we grew up watching. So, this is a win-win situation. This is the first time in East meets West, where you saw the two of the biggest movie monsters of that time. With the recent Kong Skull Island in the MonsterVerse, as well as Godzilla 2014. This is win-win right now. It's a great time to be a Godzilla fan. It is a great time to be a King Kong fan even. I don't know how many King Kong fans there is. I don't know if I can count it with my fingers. Just playing around, but so okay, so there was no clear cut winner in this movie because you guys remember that the fights on this movie were hysterical because they kind of brought a flavor, it was kind of a departure because gone were the series grim and dark horrors of wars, and they replaced it for a more kid friendly, tongue in cheek style battles on this movie because so King Kong and Godzilla have a battle on Mount Fuji, and it spills over to the ocean, and then Kong rises out of the ocean, and he's able to escape back to Faro Island. So I mean, there's a very big misconception even for me because I read a book on it when I was a child that it was kind of like a legend that Godzilla in Japan and Godzilla was the winner of the fight, and that King Kong in the West was the winner, of course, of the film. But I've a couple years back I watched the Japanese version of King Kong versus Godzilla. Not much has changed really within the film's context. Only that just that not really anything that I can remember really that King Kong is still considered the winner, but there is no, and with all due respect, there really is no clear cut winner. It's kind of a stalemate because in the beginning, King Kong tries to confront Godzilla, and he kind of backs off because of Godzilla's heat beam, and then he comes back angry and decides he finally has the courage to face Godzilla one on one, and it's just in the early goings of the battle, it really shows that Godzilla is just 10 times stronger than King Kong, and King Kong needed some kind of edge, and of course that there's a couple of shots that really were done in stop motion, and then there was puppetmation also, and it looked just really bad, like in the distance where you see King Kong and Godzilla fighting in one of the famous landmarks in Japan. And also, there's a scene where Godzilla jumps up and does some kind of a drop kick by way of using his tail, and you could really clearly tell that that was done in stop motion. So I mean, overall, the movie is very bad quality, and I mean, with such lines as "Get away from her, you monster!" I mean, how do you get into that? I mean, that was actually the tough version, but I really love this movie. This is definitely one of the top 10 Godzilla movies of all time. So I'm gonna give this movie I'm gonna give it a B plus because it's odd. It was groundbreaking for its time, and it was probably one of the most. It's probably one of the most recognizable movies. There has never been especially in the 1960s, there had never been except uh, this movie actually also took inspirations from Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, released in 1944. So it kind of inspired this movie, and of course Toho to begin with got inspired by King Kong from 1933 to make their own monster, which and then of course we got Godzilla in 1954. So you could see a lot of some inspirational similarities to the. So I really okay. If you like this video, subscribe to this blog, support this blog, like this video, and tell your friends about this channel because I am doing my best to make it better, give you the best reviews as well as the bell below. Please click on that bell so you guys know when I make a video. It'll give you notifications that I'm doing new videos. So you guys could and check out the rest of my videos I did before this. I have a playlist on my channel. You guys want to check it out and tell me what you think. Okay, what is okay? I want to know. Okay, what is your favorite scene of King Kong versus Godzilla? My favorite scene is when Godzilla and King Kong actually go towards that tower and they fall off in into the ocean. That's probably my favorite scene in the entire film, including when Godzilla does that drop kick or when King Kong body slams Godzilla. So, what is your favorite scene of this film? And we're gonna have in a couple more years in 2020 we are gonna have Godzilla versus Kong from Legendary Pictures, and now that King Kong is a part of the MonsterVerse, we're gonna get a much anticipated rematch. So in the comments below, once again, I'm going to ask you another question. Who do you want to see win that battle in the next Godzilla versus Kong movie. I'm definitely going for Godzilla as the winner, and I could already see that happening. But we'll see what happens because I will protest if he's not the winner. It's just obvious he's going to be the winner. But tell me what you think below on the comments below. All right, I will see you guys real soon.